Can I just sing that last line unison? We are loved. Nice.
I'll just skip the last
Last
line.
one,
We don't
Awake
need
My
three unison.
Soul. I'm imagining that we'll actually take that last one a little slower than I pushed it.
You are loved.
Yeah, we are loved.
We are loved.
Probably this one too. I'm feeling kind of rushy right now. I fickle my heart and how woozy my eyes. Struggle to find any truth in your lies. Now my heart stumbles on things I don't know. This weakness I feel I must finally show. Lend me your hand and we'll conquer them all. But lend me your heart and I'll just let you fall. But lend me your eyes, I can't change what you see. But your soul you must keep totally free. Our heart, our heart, our heart, our heart. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. Fickle my heart and how woozy my eyes. I struggle to find any truth in your lies. Let's build it up a little bit more here. Now my heart stumbles on things I won't know. Justin, do you mind just like hitting those hits?
Wait, pre-chorus?
Oh, sorry. It's hard. Now we can probably drop your. In these bodies we will live. In these bodies we will die. Where you invest your love, you invest your life. In these bodies we will live. In these bodies we will die. Where you invest your love, you invest your life. Sorry, Joel. That was That was me. Chorus before it. Full chorus and then that tag.
Then we repeat the tag.
Yeah, maybe touch. I think, like, big thing, I want them clapping. Yeah, like that. You got us? Okay. I feel like we should maybe wrap it up. So, you feeling okay with that? I think.
What's the beginning of Where Rainbows Never Die?
I'll just start.
I'll just press the buttons. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Start in just a minute here. Check in with a couple spots here. Hey, everybody. Hi, Fee. Had to make sure my beverage was closed so an infant doesn't kick it over. Oh, nice to see y'all. I'm Chris, Justin, Aaron. Glad to be making some music for you this morning. Today's our birthday. Did you guys know that? Super fun. As a community, so we got some fun stuff in store today. For starters, though, we want to sing some songs together. So yeah, I would invite you to just let yourself be open to what is this morning. To trust and wonder at the love and goodness that already is and that is for you. And if you're just showing up, I'd invite you to come on in and join us. This first song is from the Steel Drivers, and it's one of those songs that I think just kind of like helps me feel something, and so I wanted to share it with you guys this morning. It's called Where Rainbows Never Die. I'm an old man now, can't do nothing. Young folks don't pay me no mind. But in my day, I sure was something. Before I felt the heavy hand of time. I'm an old man now, bound for glory. Time to lay these burdens down. Had enough of this old world of worry. Gonna trade my troubles for a crown. I will make my way across the fields of cotton and wade through muddy waters one last time. And in my dreams I come out clean. When I reach the other side, it's west where the sun sets, where rainbows never die. fields of cotton and wade through muddy waters one last time. And in my dreams I come out clean when I reach the other side, just west of where the sun sets, where rainbows never die. Oh. I'm an old man now, I can't do nothing. The young folks don't pay me no mind. Yeah, thanks. All right, kids. Kids and anybody who really needs to just cut loose a little bit. We got scarves, we got shaky things. I need your help right now. Right now, stop waiting. Get up. I need you right down here. Thea's got a scarf for you. Yeah, so honestly, I hope more kids than adults know this song, but we've got a couple kids that are on the older side, so I don't know if the Curious George movie is still as well known, but actually, if you're up for it, and I would encourage you to be up for it, I'd invite you to stand up, move your body a little bit before we sit down for longer. Okay, this one is called Upside Down. Feels kind of fun. It's from Jack Johnson. To say what's impossible, well, they forgot. This world keeps spinning, and with each new day I can feel a change in everything. And as the surface breaks, reflections fade, but in some ways they remain the same. And as my mind begins to spread its wings, there's no stopping curiosity. I want to turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the things they say just can't be found. I'll share this love I find with everyone. We'll sing and dance to Mother Nature's song. I don't want this feeling to go away. Who's to say I can't do everything? Well, I can try. And as I roll along, I begin to find things aren't always just what they seem. I want to turn the whole thing upside down. I'll find the things they say just can't be found. I'll share this love I find with everyone. We'll sing and dance to Mother Nature's songs until it keeps spinning and there's no time to wait. Well, it all keeps spinning, spinning, round and round and upside down. Who's to say what's impossible and can't be found? I don't want this feeling to go away. don't go away. Please don't go away. Please don't go away. Is this how it's supposed to be? Yeah. All right. Well, kids, thank you. And actually, kids, this is a good moment. The rest of you, I guess you can have a seat. But kids, this would be the moment to start moving toward the back for Let's Get Messy. All right, so if you are someone who is heading to the other side of the school for Let's Get Messy, now's the time. Yeah, I love a little Jack Johnson in the morning. No worries. All right. Man, the kids got some good energy. So I'm just gonna claim some of that good energy, and we'll call this a downshift in our energy in here. We're not a loss. It's just we're shifting down for just a moment here. But yeah, let yourself be here. Let yourself be present. Be known as you're willing, because all that stuff is it's welcome. All your stuff, all you. This next song is from a band called The Brilliance, and I want you to just take a few breaths, because I don't know, at least for me, it is one of those songs that I've needed the last several weeks, and helps me to see what is, like I was saying earlier, to see that there is love in the foundations of the cosmos. That's what I believe. And if you ask me how to define God, might be as simple as that. But yeah, this is called See the Love. Every day we go to war again, we assume we know so much more than them before we hear what they have to say. Headline breaks, and we start to hate again, calling them names again. We give our peace away. I hope they see it, 'cause I wanna see it. I hope we believe it. I wanna see the love all around you, all around you. I wanna know that love is all around you. It's all around. Shout day by day, hope fades away, and then we know there is pain within we cannot medicate. Learn to feel, learn to begin again, open our eyes again to see our brother's pain. I hope they see it, 'cause I wanna see it. I hope we believe it. I wanna see the love all around you, all around you. I wanna know that love is all around you. It's all around you. See how it lights you up. It lights you up. See how it lights you up. It lights you up. See how it lights you up. It lights you up. I wanna see the love all around you, all around you. I wanna know that love is all around you. It's all around you. Thanks.
Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, I'm Avalon. I use pronouns they and them. Welcome, thank you for being part of Fabric today. Welcome if you're on the live stream or if you're watching this in a year, welcome and hello. Just a couple housekeeping things. We have coffee and snacks over here, and as well as an information table if you'd like to learn more about what's going on here. There's bathrooms around that corner. You can see there's signs to gender non-specific bathrooms and also ones that are wheelchair accessible with a baby changing table if you want. And if you did come here with babies, there's the Nest. You can go drop your kid off there or hang out with them in there. There's toys. That's for, I believe, kids that are 6 months to 3 years old. Anyways, today is a special day in this community because 19 years ago today is when it was founded. And I think there's a picture of what I looked like 19 years ago today. I'm on the right there, and that's my friend Noah. But yeah, my mom and my dad were part of the founding fathers of Fabric. I think there's a Mentimeter. Has anyone ever done that before? On the back of your Sunday paper, which this is what the Sunday paper looks like. There's a little QR code, and one of the questions that we have for you, I think we'll be doing another one of these later. But okay, there it is. So if you scan into that. And you'd like to describe what you were like at 19, or if you're not yet 19, maybe what do you think you'll be like at 19? So just as I continue talking, feel free to throw your answers up there. Yeah, this has been a special place for me in my life. It's very, very unique as a church community. I've come to realize over the years. I remember being really confused and upset that when my family would visit other churches, I was really confused that I had to like dress up to go to church at another place. Like I would just come here in my pajamas most of the time. But yeah, this is a special place. We have in your Sunday paper there should be a communication card. You can write whatever you want in here. A few weeks ago, I think I just wrote, "I'm moving," in here. It's nice to know you're not holding that alone, or just to have other people know, or if you need help with anything, or if you'd like to contribute to this community to help set up on Sunday mornings, that's where you can talk about that. Naive. Cool. Some good words up there. Well, anyways, now is a good time to stand up and say hi to maybe somebody that you haven't met yet. Maybe talk about what you were doing 19 years ago, roughly. Or if you are not 19, if you weren't alive 19 years ago, maybe what do you think that you will be doing in 19 years today? Thank you and good morning.
Hi. Hey, live streamers. It's Melissa saying a quick hello from here, sending our energy from this room to you, and thanking you for joining us and adding yours however you can. One thing you can do that we'd love to hear from you, and there's a contact page, which is like our connection card that we have here, a place to add your name and anything you're thinking about, wondering about, anything you're holding, like maybe it's news, like Ab said that you're moving or something. So yeah, let us know where you're tuning in from and when. Maybe it's even a year from now, but welcome to the conversation. Welcome to Fabric, and thanks for being that with us today. And then as we go out of here, may we all weave life deeply and maybe a little dangerously too. Thanks.
All right. Hey, all right. Well, I encourage you to wrap up those conversations. And any Bob Dylan fans out there? All right. One. Okay, so I'll offer a little bit of vulnerability here, because I know I'm not the only one in the room. But anybody who loves Bob Dylan's songs when other people are singing them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? There's something special about that. So anyway, I decided that we needed a little new flavor on a Bob Dylan classic. So this is "The Times They Are A-Changin'." Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If the time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming, or you sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changin'. Come writers and critics who prophesy with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser now, be later to win, for the times they are a-changin'. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows, rattle your halls, though the times they are a-changin'. From mothers and fathers throughout the land, don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changin'. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one is now, will later be fast. As the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changin'. Oh, the times they are a-changin'. Thank you.
Good morning. By show of hands, was anybody at Farm Aid yesterday? No? Yeah, a couple? Many of us weren't, so thank goodness for us. We had Chris Tripolino doing Bob Dylan. Yeah. Sounded just like him. Probably better. I saw a couple clips on social media last night. Chris sounds better. Well, welcome. I'm Ian. I use he, him pronouns, work as the pastor around Fabric. It's good to be together. Just wanted to start with kind of a community note. Many of you may, if you've been around for 19 years, may have known Garrett Furness, who was an original launch team member, along with his partner Steph and son Noah, who you saw a picture of today. And I just wanted to announce the family had reached out and to let us know that that Garrett died unexpectedly on Friday. And so for those of you who knew him, hold him close. It's hard news, especially those untimely early deaths. But I never knew him. And there's a number of people who were around here at the beginning, at the start of Jacob's Well, which became Fabric. And so I didn't know Garrett, and I wish I did. Apparently, he's the one who designed and got all the curtains, kind of figured out how to set this space up. And so I'm so grateful for the work that he did to set this up. And just, I guess, gratitude for all of those who have gone before. And maybe in 19 years, somebody will say, gosh, I don't know whoever did that thing, but I sure am glad they did back in 2025, because this is awesome. So with that, let's plow forward. Just wanted to have us hold that together for a minute. We are in the third week of this series that we're calling Dangerous Man, and talking about kind of the Jesus of history, and to be able to kind of introduce or reintroduce ourselves to the prophet and trickster and troublemaker and world changer and teacher and preacher and all the other things that Jesus was. And today we're talking about how Jesus was dangerous to normal. So 2 weeks ago we talked about Jesus being dangerous to power. Last week, dangerous to separation. And today, dangerous to normal. And we're going to start right away with a fill-in on the back. So if you have a Sunday paper and a pen, there's a fill-in right at the top. We're going to start because Jesus turned business as usual. Jesus turned normal, this idea of like normalcy, into a punchline. And I think let's just talk a little bit about that word normal too, because it's worth exploring. So he turned business as usual into a punchline. Now, normal, I would say, both then and now, was marked by hierarchies, right? Like there's, we kind of, some people are up here, and some people are down here, and some people are even lower. And I think normal, too, for when I look around at the world, I think of what's normal. Like there's things like keeping score, like the scoreboard of life, right? Or the idea as that which is fair is transactional. Like we look for fairness. When my little sister would get a cookie and I didn't get one, there was hell to pay. This is true, this idea of normal, of sort of scorekeeping and positioning ourselves. I think it's true economically, it's true relationally, like you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I think it's true also religiously. Like, we've taken this sort of scoreboard, scorekeeping mentality and turned it into a religion. Like, everything we do is being counted by some angry, vengeful God or something like that, right? So that we have this fear of which ticket do we have after we die? Are we going up or are we going down? It's like, okay, that might not be it. So normal that's kind of normal in our world. Normal in Jesus' world was the Jewish people that he was a part of, the Palestinian Jewish people, and that entire region of the world was really under the boot of the Roman Empire. So there's like empire happening all over the place. There's Roman Empire economics, like patronage systems, and a culture of honor and shame was a big thing. And in ours too. I mean, I think that shame culture is real. Like I wrestle with shame. I have a deep, long, complicated relationship with shame. And in our culture too, we have like this hustle culture, or a mindset of scarcity, or this idea that you get what you earn, or that violence can be justified somehow. So I want to invite you to open your phones back up and scan the code. If you haven't already, you can scan this QR code. And if you haven't done that before, you just take out your photo app, like as if you're going to take a picture, and then hover over the QR code. It's on the back of your Sunday paper or up on the screen. And it should pop up like a little link. And you can press that link. So don't take the picture, just press on that link, and it'll open up for you. But I'm going to invite you to pop in there. What are some modern slogans or ideas that represent normal in our society? So I've named some of these already. And then we'll give it a minute, and then Joe back there will refresh the page so we can see some of the responses that we've come up with together. All right, let's see what it says. Oh, we're still 19. Well, while that loads, I had put this question out on some of our social medias, like what's normal. The QR code's actually on the back of your Sunday paper at the top of the back. Yeah, there you go. I put this question out, and it was not surprising, but kind of a gut punch to see how many responses came back about like violence in our culture. That is one of the things that's just kind of normal in our society. If we can't get it up here right now, I think we could probably share that on... Are they showing up on your screen? Okay. Well, we'll pop that up in a little bit if we can, but I just want to start by saying that oftentimes what we experience as normal in our society, in our lives, in our neighborhoods, in our relationships, this idea that like Jesus wasn't really interested in normal. And he told stories that made normal look absurd. So that's kind of our starting place for today. So there's this story. Maybe we can pop up. There's the picture of we're going to talk about the parable of, a lot of times in the book of Matthew, there's this story that's called the parable of the workers in the vineyard. And I'm going to retitle it and tell kind of my version of the story. It's the parable of the day laborers. So Jesus was with his closest friends and followers, the disciples, and then a crowd had like really developed around him. People like both fans, people who were curious, people who were angry, people who were in active opposition to him, and they were all kind of following him around, and he was poking at this idea of normal, left and right. So, like, kids would come up, and in this culture of hierarchies, kids were like, below human, but these children were approaching him, and all his friends were like, no, kids go away, and he was like, no, let the kids come. Like, kids are actually like maybe the most important. And he was poking at ideas like this rich young person came to him and said, what do I need to do to have abundant life? And Jesus tells him, well, you should sell all your possessions and give the money away. And then let's talk, right? And this guy just couldn't do it. Right? Like, normal to that person was this idea of hoarding resources. And Jesus said, let's poke at that. Let's challenge that. So then his own friends were saying, like, well, what about us? We gave up everything to follow you around. And so he tells this story to the crowd that's gathered. Now I'm going to re-paraphrase it and tell it this way. So imagine this, Jesus is telling his friends. It's early morning outside of the Home Depot in the parking lot. Dozens of day laborers are waiting, hoping somebody will pull up with work. A contractor comes by at 7 a.m. and picks up a few guys, promising them a fair day's wage. So they get in the truck and they go off and start working. At 10 a.m., the contractor comes back for more people. At noon, again. At 3 p.m., again. At 5 o'clock, he comes back again to pick more people up. 5 p.m., only an hour left in the workday, he grabs a few of the last people that are still waiting there in the parking lot, the ones that nobody else picked up. And so when the job for the day wraps up, the foreman calls everybody over to him to get paid. And here's where it gets weird. The guys who worked just 1 hour came to him first, to the foreman, and he paid them a fair day's wage, a whole day's wage for that hour of work. So do the ones that worked for 3 hours and 6, and the ones who started at dawn and sweated through the whole day. They all got the same pay, a full day's wage, but no more. So of course, the people who worked all day, how did they feel? Huh? Upset? Angry? Cheated? Yeah. They were not happy. They were like, hey, it's not fair. We worked longer. We worked harder than all of you, than all these other people. We deserve more. And the boss just shrugs and said, didn't I pay you what I promised I would pay you? If I want to be generous with the last people, why should that bother you? Jesus tells this story and then lands it with a gut punch. He says, so many who are last will be first, and the first will be last. This is an absurd story, right? Like, this just wouldn't happen. Paying everybody the same, whether they worked 1 hour or worked all day. And this is how he tells the story. But this isn't just about the foreman being nice, or in the way that Jesus told it was like a vineyard, like there's a landowner who gets laborers to come work for him. It's not just about being nice to the labor. This is deeply about like money and wages and livelihoods. And so there's a vision. There's always in these storytelling moments. It's not just storytelling for the fun of it. And I think what he's up to is he's trying to communicate a vision for the world as it could be, as opposed to the world as it is. What he's imagining here and communicating is this vision of what a just economy looks like. Not a fair economy in the eyes of cultural norms, but a just system. It kind of makes me think, we were talking earlier this week about about today, and I was kind of dreaming up what I was going to say, and I was reminded of in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. When have you ever read that book, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe? It's such a good book. But Susan and Mr. Beaver are talking about this king, this lion, Aslan, and Susan asks, "Is he safe?" And Mr. Beaver says, "Oh no, he's not safe, but he's good. He's not safe." And I think that's what's going on here, right? Like, we're talking about all the ways that Jesus was labeled dangerous, right? He was dangerous to power. He was dangerous to systems that put some people over others. He was dangerous to all the forces that create us to be separate from each other and infighting with one another and not paying attention to who is causing all the fighting, right, in the first place. And in this scenario, Jesus is dangerous in his storytelling to systems that uphold normal, that idea that you have to earn what you get, that everything is to be earned, nothing is freely given. And so there's this shift. I put it on the back of the Sunday paper too. It's kind of the Jesus shift, right? Where you go from an empire economy, which is marked by scarcity and competition and exploitation, and moving into this other sort of vision for a just economic system, marked by things like abundance and generosity and dignity for all people. So the reaction of the crowd that was listening to him tell this story, these listeners would have been absolutely scandalized. Like, this teacher is saying this nonsense about, upending this idea of what is normal. Like, landowners never treated workers with generosity like this. Ever. In fact, there's some scholars that say that, like, in that time, something like 90% of people were barely making enough to survive, right? To, like, feed themselves and house themselves. This is a deeply, deeply unfair and unjust system. But today's listeners, too, like, if we told this story, if our leaders told this story the way I did, that everybody should earn the same regardless of how many hours they work, regardless of how hard they work, right? Like, my first thought is, like, group projects in school, right? Come on. Some people do all the work and get A's, and Jason over here is just... Yeah, those are swear words. Yeah. In his storytelling, Jesus seems to be making the case that God's economy, whatever that looks like, right, financially or spiritually, that this kind of different vision for economy doesn't play by our scorekeeping rules. Like the old scoreboard image, that's not a part of a preferred future vision for the world. So there's all sorts, though. Like when we really look, when we think of the economy, we think of like jobs and we think of wages and we think of GDP and all these measures of economic success or failure. But like when you really look at the world around us right now, especially like in the neighborhood, right? In your neighborhoods or in friend groups, right? Like there's all sorts of alternative economies that we participate in. Things like mutual aid networks, which got a lot of attention during the pandemic 5 years ago. Like neighbors organizing food and rent support that were bypassing the bureaucratic processes that and systems that often asked people to like prove your worth, right? Like no one asks in mutual aid networks if you deserve help. Like having a need is enough reason to receive help, to be given help. That's not normal economics, but it is, I think, a little bit of what was being envisioned in the story of the parable of the day laborers. There's also all sorts of like debt forgiveness programs. Organizations like the Rolling Jubilee have literally bought medical debt for pennies on the dollar and then just forgiven it. in 2020, one group wiped out $1.7 billion of medical debt for almost 1 million people. That's incredible. That's worth celebrating and knowing about, that there are already people thinking creatively about participating in alternative economies. Rachel and I are part of a Buy Nothing group online. My goodness, we just give and receive stuff all the time from people in our local neighborhood. It's incredible. There's all sorts of things. Another one I've been reminded of recently is a group called, what were they called? AREA, the Armitage Reparations and Equality Action, here in South Minneapolis, in the Armitage neighborhood, where there were racial covenants on homes that were saying, if you weren't white, you can't own these homes, right? It was established in 1946, I think it was, and this group that has emerged in the last number of years is saying, what if we work intentionally to wipe that language out, on the deeds for homes, because they still exist, and to do the necessary reparations work with those that are still impacted by these racial covenants in the Armitage neighborhood, all across South Minneapolis, all across the United States. This is important stuff. So there are all sorts of ways to participate in alternative economies, and I think it's just worth wondering at, how do we already do that, and how might we do that in significant ways? Now, the question for me in every week when we're talking about dangerous to power and dangerous to separation, today dangerous to normal, the way that Jesus was reimagining all of these relationships, what was so dangerous about what he was saying? And I think when we look at the times back then, the normal that Jesus was attacking were things like Roman taxation systems and exploitation of day laborers and religious rules that protected power, protected privilege, and protected money. Like the Roman taxation and day labor systems exploited peasants incredibly, 90% of people living at subsistence levels. For peasants, the parable, for people on the lowest end, in that artificial hierarchy that was created back then, for people on the lowest rung of that, this parable, this story that he told, wasn't abstract. It was a real thing. It was a radical economic vision where people's dignity wasn't tied to productivity, right? Which is really hard for me as somebody who feels like I gotta prove my worth all the time. What I do is gonna earn me respect or something, right? But I think what's dangerous too now, our business as usual has created this kind of hustle culture and incredible inequality with wealth, and there's systemic racism and exclusion of people who don't fit the mold. There's all sorts of ways that our normals have created separation and have created and enforced and reinforced hierarchies among us. And on top of that, we've got this scarcity mindset, right? There's only so much to go around, so we better fight for our slice of the pie. In today's vision for economy, our reality of economy is there's the wage gaps and all those ways that economic systems create unhealthy norms. Normal now tells us that your worth equals your output. And I think what Jesus was daring to tell us is that your worth equals your being. That you exist gives you worth. Because you are, you deserve. Nothing more and nothing less. Normal then and now, normal keeps the world predictable, controllable for the powerful. But over and over, what Jesus was up to, like the Jesus of the Bible, Jesus disrupted that script. Oh, that's a fill-in too. Jesus disrupted that script. So this makes me wonder, for myself and for all of us, where do I live by normal without even realizing it? How do I uphold normal without realizing it? If you go back into your QR code, the next prompt actually is about this, like about normals, like what normal in your life might need to be disrupted so that real, tangible love can flourish, take root, and flow. Some of the examples that I think of, normals that I want to challenge in my life, are things like valuing people by their job titles, right? Oftentimes when I meet somebody, one of the first questions I ask them is related to their productivity. Like, what do you do for work? You know? One of the normals in our larger culture that I hope could be challenged is equating wealth, like those who have more of it, with moral goodness or success. Like that's one measure, but it's not the only measure. Or even the idea of assuming fairness when what I would really like for ourselves, like what I want for myself and what I want for you, is something that's just and good, not just fair. The idea that I earned this, so it's mine. I'm going to hold on to it tight. I want to challenge the idea that people get what they deserve, good and bad, right? I want to wipe out that question of like what something bad happens to somebody and we say, well, what did they do to deserve that? That's not the question. Jesus' dangerous normal isn't about efficiency or fairness. It's about, I think, really living into like what abundance looks like. Abundance or mercy or dignity for all people. And so I want to reiterate as we start to kind of wrap this up that Jesus was labeled dangerous because he disrupted what everybody thought was normal or fair and threatened to overturn entire systems that rely on creating unstable hierarchies. Jesus often talked about this idea of the kingdom of God. Around here, a lot of times, especially with kids, we talk about like God's big vision of love for the world. And over, Jesus talked about this idea that God's big vision of love for the world is about more than a feeling in your heart. It's actually an alternate economy where dignity isn't earned, where love rewrites the rules, where abundance trumps scarcity. And that kind of vision will always be dangerous to business as usual. So I don't know about you, but for me, this vision really challenges me to wonder where I might more actively participate in making that new vision, that alternate economy, more of a material reality. Not just a nice thought that's ultimately out of reach. And so, oh, look at that. There it is. Secret resentment. Ooh, I love that. The normals that need to be disrupted for us. Routine, fear. I think we will post this because I can't read most of that. We'll post it online. But I would encourage you today and in the week to come here to notice the moments that you might feel the urge to say, that's not fair. And pause to wonder if instead of it just not being fair, that something is actually maybe an alternative, a generous alternative economy. My hope for us as we continue in this Dangerous Man series is that in diving into the stories that Jesus told, the ways that he taught, how he lived, that we would maybe start seeing Jesus, if we don't already, as more than a mouthpiece of an angry God, but might consider the possibility of him having an imagination and a vision for what's actually abundant for us. And then I hope that we would be unsettled by some of these stories, by some of the ways that we participate in creating and sustaining normal. That we be unsettled from the normal that keeps us small. That we might learn to live also with dangerous generosity. Because I think that there is something beautiful there. Dangerous generosity is the phrase that I want to end this with. May it be so.
If you would, go ahead and pass those little white bags, probably on the floor at the end of the rows. And yeah, we want to sing a little bit more together. This is We Are Loved by the Avett Brothers. Whether we speak up or we are silent, if we are willing or we are done, if we're courageous or we are cowards, we may be burdened, but we are loved. Whether we stay true and do for another, if we are hidden or we're discovered, if we're forgiven or we're forgotten, we may be lonely, but we are loved. Every stitch and seam, every wish and dream, even in tragedy, there lies stop moving. Whether you're haunted or cannot remember, over the gravestone, under the rainbow, pain comes and pain goes, and we are loved. Every stitch and seam, every wish and dream, even in tragedy, there lies divinity. Even as hope seems lost, it may be found again. I have felt alone, but I have never been. If we are spirit, or we are human, crossing the river, harboring change. If we deny it, or if we face it, may we embrace it. We are loved. Yeah, would you stand up for this last one, please? How fickle my heart and how woozy my eyes. I struggle to find any truth in your lies. And now my heart stumbles on things I don't know. This weakness I feel I must finally show. Lend me your hand and we'll conquer them all. Lend me your heart and I'll just let you fall. Lend me your eyes, I can change what you see. But your soul you must keep totally free. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Awake my soul. Awake my soul. I fickle my heart and I woozy my eyes. I struggle to find any truth in your lies. And now my heart stumbles on things I don't know. This weakness I feel I must finally show. Har, 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 har. In these bodies we will live, in these bodies we will die. Where you invest your love, You invest your life in these bodies we will live, in these bodies we will die. Where you invest your love, you invest your life. Sing that out a little more. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. You were made to meet your Maker. You were made to meet your Maker. Woo.
Thanks, y'all. Hi, Della.
Hi, Ian.
Della, everybody, Della's here. Yeah. Okay, I'm so curious. What did y'all do back there today?
Well, I have a challenge for you, Ian.
Okay.
I need you to pick up this bottle with this pencil, but don't turn it upside down.
Easy.
Yep.
Not easy.
Yep, doing great.
I can't quite get
This
it.
is my bottle.
What? How did that?
Well, Ian, so you might notice I have rice in my bottle, and Ian doesn't have any rice in his bottle. And maybe it's a little unfair that Ian doesn't have any rice in his bottle, but I've got lots in mine, and all of my rice is creating lots and lots of friction. And so I'm able to lift my bottle
Incredible.
with this interruption.
Wow. Science.
Yeah, right?
Love it. Cool. Tension.
Yeah, so today with kids, we talked about friction and tension. They were challenged to roll cans as slowly as they could, and some of them were so good at it that the cans wouldn't roll at all. So if you see kids carrying around little cans of green beans or sauerkraut, that's what that's about. But we're talking about how sometimes our relationships with people can create a little bit of friction,
That's true.
can feel a little unfair.
Yeah.
But God's big vision of love comes and interrupts that, lifts us up,
I love it.
changes our perspective,
Yeah.
turns our idea of fair upside down.
Ooh, I like it.
Right?
Okay. All right, kids, well done. We have on the back of the Sunday paper and also these handouts for these Let's Get Messy handouts for families and kids, some questions that you get to kind of wrestle with, whether it's in a group, in your family, in your journal, in your whatever. So let's try one of these ones today.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah.
When does having feelings of unfair create friction between people?
I don't like feeling like someone's getting more than me.
Yeah.
Like, my brother and I used to have a rule that
Yeah.
if we were sharing something like a cookie, whoever cut the cookie didn't get to pick which side they got. So if Bjorn cut the cookie, I got to pick which side, because otherwise it might turn into a wrestling match all over the living room floor over who got the bigger half of the cookie.
Yeah.
Because kind of that was tough for me.
That is tough.
Yeah.
We might need to adopt that in our house.
Yep.
That's a
It's
good rule.
It's a good method.
Yeah. I also similarly talked about my sister when she would get a
Yeah.
cookie and I didn't.
Oh my gosh. So annoying.
So annoying.
So
Yeah,
upsetting.
That's great.
Some feelings
Yeah.
of friction there.
Some feelings of friction. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think there's 2 weeks in a row that I've talked to my sister. So again, if you're
Thanks,
watching this
Bryn.
later, hi Bryn. Yeah.
Thanks, Bjorn.
Great. Well, we're so glad that you're all here and kind of exploring this stuff together. It's been amazing that this community for 19 years now has been wrestling with kind of the big questions. And to celebrate today, our 19th birthday, Della, what do we have?
We have 1919 root beer float. 1919 is the superior root beer.
Yeah,
So,
Superior Root Beer.
thank you all for coming and being Fabric today.
We'll flip the lights on. Let's go get some ice cream
Get a
and root beer
float.
floats.
Woo! Happy birthday! Oh, also come get your take-home stuff for me.
Oh, yeah.